everybody. Buenos tardes. ¿Cómo están? This is Charles Cook. I am the managing partner here at Cook Baxter Immigration. Today is our firm's Facebook Live that I'm in. We have one tomorrow with Elizabeth. We have one Friday with Dustin and Jorge. And again, we just want to get you information about all the things that are happening in immigration law so that you can make informed decisions. And of course, we want to talk about what's going on in litigation and in of course the new proposals that are pending in Congress on immigration. So it's great to be with you today. Levi, you're on early. Thank you for joining us. And Michaela, I can't wait to kick Moscow's butt either, by the way. So let's talk about where we are as far as the cases. We know we've got the DV 2021 case pending in front of Judge Mehta. We are serving them and we'll be reaching out to government counsel. We learned today, oddly enough, that another law firm filed another DV 2020 case in D.C. and tried to relate it to two of our cases, Tate and Milligan, I think in an attempt to get those judges, but instead it was assigned to Judge Chutkan. They filed a preliminary injunction request, but we have Judge Mehta, and my guess is all those cases may be consolidated with Judge Mehta is my guess. I don't think Judge Chutkan's going to want to hear cases that she's not familiar with while the issues are directly in line with what Judge Mehta has ruled on previously. So that's where we are on the DV 2021. The DV 2020, of course, the Gomez case, nothing, no hearing date from Judge. Understand Judge Mehta is assigned to almost all the insurrection cases, you know, all the people that stormed the Capitol. And he was actually mentioned in a Twitter feed today about some case where it looks like people kind of bamboozled him, and he certainly turned around and kept somebody in jail it didn't look like a very honest approach to the law. So there we go. We've got the K1 Egypt case is filed, and a lot of our plaintiffs have already been scheduled for interviews. We got to get the NBC folks over as well and push that. K1 Brazil, K1 Manila are in process. K1 Moscow in process. The EB5s, just to let you know, the government counsel and I traded phone calls the last couple of days. I'm going to reach out to him later today and see if we can. He's on the West Coast to see if we can find out what we're going to do on this case so we can quickly expedite getting these visas issued. Milligan, of course, another 5 or 10 people today that sent me their visas, and including Amsterdam, woohoo, which has been, and Frankfurt, which have been holding out, which is just great. Our last Tate 01 plaintiff has their interview on the 22nd of April. Would have been this week, but they're out of town, so the 22nd of April. So they are good. Enunciado, of course, continues for those family and employment-based cases as we need to work on those. And then let's see, I think we've got the Purdue University case and of course, the national litigation with AILA on the travel ban, basically the travel ban litigation, which we already won partial wins for immigrant visa holders and K1s, and which, of course, doesn't make any difference. People in Manila who aren't being interviewed anyway. So, you know, one consul ignoring in multiple consulate, Cairo, Manila, and Brazil, Rio, and Moscow, for whatever reason, not issuing the visas. So, you know, we're going to make them issue those and get those done. It all requires patience. Of course, litigation's not an immediate result. Everything takes a little bit of time. But we're filing, I think, the preliminary injunction either this week or early next week in the national litigation on the travel ban. And hopefully that'll get a resolution relatively quickly. Maybe if we get enough publicity, the government will cave again on the issue. So let's see what else is going on. Oh, of course, in Congress, the word is that the Hispanic Caucus, basically the pro-immigration groups, the Black Congressional Caucus, the Hispanic Immigration Caucus, are basically trying to get Biden to include a number of immigration provisions in the infrastructure bill because they're economic. I mean, that's the argument, is they're economic. And here's the thing. We have historically passed immigration provisions in budget bills. Done it for years. I mean, my entire time being a lawyer, 32 years, almost every immigration bill was attached to a budget bill. So quite possible it happened. So we could get the DREAM Act there, could get the Promise Act there. We could get a provisions on the legalization for farm workers there. All of those I could see being put on this. So we're going to see what President Biden does and what congressional leadership in the Senate decides to do on that. I have just found out from my colleague Greg Siskin and his active Twitter feed that Rand Paul, I thought it was Ted Cruz, but Rand Paul has introduced Senate Bill 970, a bill to reduce the backlog of foreign nationals seeking employment-based visas, and for other purposes. The text of the bill, however, is unavailable on the congress.gov website, so we can't read it. This presumably is a rebirth of the elimination of per-country limits that sank last year because it was a bad bill. Hopefully, the sponsors of the bill have learned their lesson and put forward a bill that works for everybody. We'll do a detailed analysis of that in one of our Facebook Lives as soon as I can get my hands on a copy of Senate 970. There still is no companion bill introduced in the House on this, which means it's not going anywhere. So we'll see what happens. The good news is for employment-based immigrants, this is especially true for Indian nationals. I have many clients in this situation. This is where there's a problem, a good news and a bad news. So last year, they dumped an extra 145,000 visas into the employment-based category. So instead of 140, there was 270. And this year, it looks like they're going to dump another 270,000. So over a period of 2 years, there will have been 270,000 available immigrant visas for employment-based cases. And that's why when we look at the visa bulletin, we've seen some serious movement in the visa bulletin for April as it pertains to the employment-based categories. And we see, I was looking at on my other screen over here, let me move it over here so I'm not playing ping pong with my head. All the first preference is current for every country. Second preference for China is up to September 2016. For China, they're in March 18, which is, now we're looking 3 years. India is all stuck in 2010, and this is the bad news part of it. Think about this. So immigration allowed 3 years of adjustments of status to be filed last October. It's great for people to get work permits and not have to be an H-1Bs if they don't want to going forward. But immigration is not adjudicating those cases. So they're going to lose the visas. This is the problem. The employment-based visas, they don't stay. If you don't use them, they're gone. All right? They're supposed to go to family, but if they've already transferred over, they're gone. So unless USCIS gets their butt in gear and starts adjudicating, this is where I would love to see some pressure from these national advocacy groups who are so keen on getting rid of the per-country limit. Dude, this takes care of 80% of the per-country limit, and thus, if you can get the per-country limit wiped away, there's the harm to the non-country limited countries is minimal instead of maximal that it is now. So where are the efforts to get USCIS to get their adjudication butt in gear? That's what we need to see. Let's work on that together, I think. Maybe suing them would be a good idea. We'll have to think about that. Nothing wrong with suing the government. Good thing every single day. Let's answer some questions today. Let's see. Ashim, good to see you. Levi, I already talked to you. And Michaela, good to see you as well. Let's see. We've got Mariana. Will it be the same K-100 lawsuit with the U.S. said yesterday with the Milligan case? The court does not require to be given special priority. No, actually, because this is a mandamus action. Remember, Milligan, the mandamus is still stuck. So Milligan is still an active case, and that's still there. And we've been talking to the government about that. We had a very detailed conversation yesterday about that. And you'll be seeing tomorrow that detailed in the status report, which I believe probably end up in a conference with the judge on. But no, the Egypt case is very specific. First of all, it's very small. And second, it's focused on these folks. And I think almost everybody whose case is gone from NBC is getting interviewed, almost everybody. And those NBC folks are now the ones we're trying to move forward. So no. And the Milligan case, we talked to the government about this. The idea, well, everybody's treated the same. The government council realizes that's not real. Okay. You can't put people back in the line. And so we're working on that. And we'll be talking to the judge as we. Charlotte, good to see you from jolly old England. Tell the Queen I'm sorry that Prince Philip died. They seem like they had a really great relationship. So here, that's one of my favorite friends on Twitter, the Twitter machine, from Algerian DV 2020. His visa expiration is March 27, 2029. Is no longer valid. No, of course he can't board because it's invalid. His visa should be valid. I don't know why he thought that. He needed to go back. Wait a second. Visa expiration was. All right. I was thinking 2020. So March 27th should be extended for 6 months. So here you have to think back to the different part of that lawsuit. So he should, without a problem, be able to get on an airplane and come. My advice is that he provide a copy of the IATA instructions to the agent, that he ask for the agent's supervisor, that they provide the CBP instructions and the Department of State instructions and to them to board. And if none of that works, they should hire a lawyer because this is obviously an error. Or take a different airline. Go to a different country and leave from there. They'll be fine. Helen, hello. Was the Brazilian case filed yesterday? Like informed Catherine, I don't know whether it was filed last night or not. I know that they're diligently working on it. I would suggest you tune in to Jeff's Facebook Live tomorrow or to our Twitter pages to find out the actual status of that. Egypt spouses, actually Greg's working on that one. He's the lead lawyer on that one. And I don't have that answer, but you can email Greg or ask him on a Twitter page. I'm sure he'll answer. DV21, can I join the lawsuit or it's closed? Well, Clody, we are actually, we created a waiting list for some of these cases that we already filed. And so if you'll look below, in fact, I'm going to put it right here. I think I've got a banner of this. So we created a waiting list. We may be able to add people. So we create, no payments or anything, but a waiting list. You go to this website and you look at the case you're looking at and put your name in, and we may be able to add you after, we're waiting to see. We do believe we will be adding people to the DV 2021 case. And so, that's probably possible, but go to that website. Will all 20 plaintiffs process for September deadline if we win a case? Well, Ashim, that's what we're asking for, obviously. And we believe, we're shooting for a decision from Judge Maida by May, early June, which will give them plenty of time to process the plaintiffs. But we're also asking to reserve visas because of the very specific reason that our plaintiffs' numbers are all over the place. Now, Department of State's already said everybody will be current by June. I don't know if that means the June visa bulletin for July or for June. It's a little unclear what that means. But they're not going to be enough visas unless they reserve them. And I think he's not going to be duped a second time by the Department of State. So hopefully, yes, no guarantees in life other than death or taxes. Kingsley, plaintiff Shirley, hope you're doing well. Next videos are going to be plaintiffs get a priority. Will plaintiffs be a chance to get priority? Well, Kinsley, that's a good question about how they're going to do this. Kinsley is still in the preliminary stage of the case. You can obviously put down that you're a Kinsley plaintiff when you email the consulate. And what's been happening, Shirley, even though state has taken this position, hey, we're not going to take people out of order, they are. They are doing that in some consulates. So it's very consulate dependent about where you are. So Shirley, I don't know where you are, but that's a good question to, email the consulate and say, look, I'm a member of the Kinsley litigation that resulted in the worldwide order. I want to know the status of my case. I want to know when I'm going to be interviewed. You have to be aggressive on this. This is on you to be aggressive. We cleared the path. We opened the door. Now you need to get aggressive with the consulate. Sure, Charlotte, I don't know which question you were going to ask, but hopefully it was that one. Kristen, I love that Kristen's always commenting here. Any of these million who haven't been interviews yet? Well, Kristen, it depends on which consulate. Are you in Frankfurt? Because we've got 3 Frankfurts today. If you're German, I don't know. Hop sounds German, like Cook sounds German, could be Austrian. I don't know. Maybe Polish. I don't know. So again, it just depends on which you're at. We do not publish a list of the consulates where they're pending, but Greg does have a list, which of course depends on people updating the list when they get their visa. So I don't have it right now. At least I don't think I do. Hold on a second. If you're patient, I actually may have access to this. Give me just a second here. So what you need to ask, hold on a second. All right, you are in London. All right, I don't know. Well, it sounds German. The Queen's like German. All right, so, okay. Well, she is kind of German. You know that, right? All right, Kristen, London. So we've got a ton of Londons in June. One in July scheduled. May scheduled. It looks like they're scheduling, folks. Your case is there. So, Kristen, what I would do is I email the consulate. There's no harm in emailing them. So I'm a plaintiff in Milligan. A lot of my co-plaintiffs have had interviews set. I know you have my case. So when am I getting interviewed? Push it. And see, Nancy, how did the meeting go with the government? Actually, it was a really good meeting. I can't, obviously, for obvious purposes, Nancy, I can't discuss all the details because it was a confidential conversation. But I thought it was generally a positive conversation with government counsel. He clearly understands our position. He understands why the case isn't moot, because it's not. Because here's the thing, they didn't cancel the ban. They just changed their mind on an exemption, and they could rechange their mind tomorrow to go back. Nothing stops them from doing that. So he realized he's not going to win a motion to dismiss on that issue. And they did ask for, I think, a 3-month extension on their appeal. So forget the appeal part of it. That's it's in the ether sphere now. So that's kind of where you are. It was a good meeting. We specifically brought up Manila as a major problem, Montreal as a strangely little but problematic place. And we did talk about issues in Moscow and Rio. Of course, Moscow's biggest problem is personnel, not necessarily not a desire to do it, but bodies is a problem. Julia, the mass action, Julia, as far as I know, it's ready. I'm just not the lead counsel on that one. And I don't, something may have come in while I've been online. And I will certainly ask my partners and have them put something on the Twitter machine tonight. Carlos, we are still waiting for the Peruvian embassy. Well, Carlos, I know they've been scheduling. I know, yeah, don't have her come on the visitor visa because she's so close to getting interviewed. Email the consulate, say I'm F2A, and when can I expect an interview? I know they're doing F2A interviews. I know they are because I had a client had theirs this week. So I know they're doing it, Carlos. Charlie Moss, how are you? A couple of things recently, looking now being treated. My husband wait to get an interview. Yeah, now you don't have to hire us. We're still fighting to get the interview. So I would just, again, let's see what comes out of the status report see when we get in front of the judge on a status conference. But again, keep emailing the consulate. Again, I don't know where your spouse is from, Charlie. I guess I could look. Hold on a second. Okay. London. Now, Charlie, it looks like your case has been transferred to the consulate. So same thing I just told Kristen. Email the consulate. Say, I know you have my case. I know other London Milligan plaintiffs have interviews scheduled. When will mine be scheduled? Okay. Catherine, I already addressed your question a little bit earlier. Milligan basically moot. Milligan's not moot, Macy. That's what I just talked about. Let's see. Oh no. The government counsel is well aware, and it will be pointed out to the judge. The judges, think about this. The judge issued his order for all the plaintiffs several months ago. And if the government is not making any attempt to really expedite the cases to get off his calendar, I don't think he's going to be overly overjoyed on this. So I know it's not easy to wait. It's difficult to wait and to be patient, but we're not done litigating the case. So don't call it moot, because it's not. Kinsley plaintiff, ever a lot of emphasis. Know that we are. Yes, of course. Tell me you're Kinsley plaintiff. Absolutely. Asking myself how they. Oh, Igley, that is a great question. How is the Department of State, if they are ordered to finally issue all 99 visas or more, how will they do it? They will not answer that question. They won't. We've asked the question point blank, and they won't answer it. I even brought it up to the judge in our last call, which seems like a couple of months ago now. I think maybe it was a couple of months ago. I think it was in January. We don't know. I don't know. I already did that just now. Abdo, Go Blinken, it's a win. Well, keep in mind, Go versus Blinken is not a class action. We're only fighting for our plaintiffs on this. But we're asking for a reservation of all the visas because our plaintiffs are all over number world, okay? And generally, my guess is the government will go by numbers, even if they're forced to do it. Because the free-for-all last September was a nightmare for them. So if the judge reserves the numbers, then you'll just go in the priority, and I would imagine plaintiffs might even go in the priority as well. If he doesn't reserve numbers, then just our plaintiff, but he orders the plaintiffs to be adjudicated, then our plaintiffs will be adjudicated. London has acknowledged the U.S., but not said when they accept K1. Yes, Jim, as I just said, everybody else, send them an email. Send them an email every week. Where's my appointment? I know other plaintiffs in London have appointments in May, June, and July, early July. When am I getting mine? Okay. Anish, when will the DV 2021 Go versus Blinken lawsuit get a result? Of course, I'm not a prophet. I can't give it with any degree of real certainty, but my guess is probably by June, mid-June, we should have the finals on that, okay? Kinsley, you should be sending emails to the consulate. Hey, I'm a Kinsley plaintiff. When are you setting my appointment? Plaintiff from EU, paid the fee but never get an email from you. If you paid the fee, you did get an email from us. It said, thank you for your fee. So Liz, what I would urge you to do is email Greg, and he'll be able to confirm it. All right. Helen, if Casey has not reacted to any documents. All right. So part of our complaint involves the Kentucky Consular Center. Again, I know they don't react to document submissions, but keep emailing them. I mean, you have to become, we did this early on last year. You have to become the squeaky wheel. Be the squeaky wheel. It doesn't harm you. They're not going to hold you back. Nobody's going to punish you. You have a legitimate right to be processed if your number is current. All right. And of course, we are well aware of all the consulates that have said, we don't have any ability to process DV 2021. That's garbage. And they were in our complaint. Yeah, that they can't do that. Cecilia Juarez gives it that all categories to begin. Those is not true. They're still working on PP. Cecilia, or Cecilia, I guess, we are actually considering maybe suing Juarez. So Juarez's problem is they now have a 3-year backlog. They had a 2-year backlog before COVID. They have a 3-year backlog. And they don't have a plan. So keep your ears peeled. We'll be talking more about that next week. Los casos de Brasil todavía tiene tiempo para las personas adentro de... ahorita no, Lena. Como dije, puede mirar esta lista, poner su nombre y te contacta. No hay que pagar nada y te contactaremos si vamos a añadir a gente a la litigación. You're welcome, Michael. I know what a pain in the butt Manila is. It was a big part of our conversation with government counsel yesterday. I'm not going to go into details publicly, but government counsel and his client are well aware of what we'll be telling the judge. Okay. Moscow is in intake mode right now, Elena. You can join our Moscow litigation. Okay, Helen, I already answered this question earlier. What is the name of the lawsuit? When is the first trial? I don't know what lawsuit you're talking about, Tomo. Got to give me a topic. Mariana, thank you for trying. Well, that's it. If it's an EB immigrant, like an immigrant visa, EBs, there's no longer a ban. You technically don't need an NIE, right? That's what's unclear from their statement. Because if we go to the travel statement from the government, oh my goodness, I had it up here a second ago. Here we go. The travel statement says national interest statement for immigrants and fiancés. Well, immigrants are EBs. They're EBs. So you shouldn't need an NIE. So if you've got an EB visa, you don't need an NIE, according to this statement. Okay. Bartek, you mentioned summary judgment takes about 60 days. It's time the final judgment. Well, summary judgment, and again, it's the judge that determines the time frame. The rules that say, okay, you file a motion for summary judgment. Government has 3 weeks to respond. You've got 1 week to reply. Then you're on the judge's calendar. How busy is the judge? When are you going to have a hearing? Is there even going to be a hearing? When will the judge, if they have a hearing, issue a decision? One thing we learned in Enunciado, the judge just waited. Obviously that harmed people. Harmed lots of people by waiting for this to pass. So at the end of the day, 60 days I think is as good a guess as any. There you go. Michaela's onboarding right now. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's see. Oh, it jumped ahead on me here. Hey, when it does this. There's Michaela. Let's see. I already answered that question. I don't know what you're talking about. To do will probably be confirmed by, I'm going to guess, by the middle of May, if not sooner. She's an easy confirmation. Obviously the nativists will attack her for being a liberal, you work for open borders group kind of crap, but she'll be confirmed. Hey, you can message Mihaela if you're in Moscow. She's kind of running front for us there. Wait for what if the DD does not go current? Well, they said it will be going current, right? That's kind of what they said. Where are we? Let's see. Has the visa bulletin come out yet for May? We're sitting on the 14th, right? Sitting on the 14th. Let's see. May is not out yet. Okay, May is not out. Check this, May 2021. May's not out yet. Hopefully by Friday we'll know. Nicola, we're not disclosing a full list of plaintiffs because it's privileged information. So we can only list 50 people. in Pacer is the maximum we can put. We have a redacted complaint available if you'd like to see the redacted complaint. But we are not releasing a full list. If you want to confirm you're on the list, which you are if you paid, then you can contact Greg and he will confirm that for you. No new news on the travel ban lawsuit. We'll be filing our motion here shortly. Predictions in Moscow. My prediction actually is they're going to have people go to other consulates. They just don't have the bodies. They just don't have the bodies to do Ks, to do regular visas, to do DVs. They don't have the bodies. So, and that's because of the dispute between the U.S. and Russia. We kicked out their diplomats. They kicked out our diplomats. There aren't any diplomats. So, word on the street is they're down to 20% of staffing. Okay. How long does an advanced parole last for approval with DACA? It depends. Usually they're good for a year, but I have seen them as little as a month. All right. So it just depends. You want to make sure you ask for the full year. Let's see. Nothing new about DV 2020. Shabam, no, we're not promising anybody an advance interview because if your number's not current, you can't be interviewed. All right. But again, by the time the judge rules, we think everybody will be current, and thus we believe the plaintiffs will go first, but there's no guarantees. Okay. The one EB5 plaintiff bet you the last Twitter live the scheduled interview was at the consulate. Yes, it was in Guangzhou. It was in Guangzhou. Craig Barber, as far as the government caved in and gave it on, what is the likely outcome of travel ban litigation? Well, we have a number of people who are non-immigrants in the travel ban litigation. So we'll be filing a motion for summary judgment with the court, not a preliminary injunction, motion for summary judgment with the court. And it's certainly not moot at this point because there's a whole bunch of plaintiffs that still aren't affected by this. Yanen salió bajo advance parole cuando tardará mi residencia cuando regrese. Vos tienes que regresar, Yanin. Si está casando con un ciudadano, probablemente le va a tomar 10 a 12 meses, ojalá menos, pero 10 a 12 meses es lo típico. So hurry, if you've got DACA, you can apply for advanced parole. So go ahead and do that. Give us a call. You all know, of course, that we are, still doing consults, and we've got the free phone consult for 15 minutes, free phone consult. Like people talk to people from all over the world, in person or Zoom. We do charge you for that. Tenemos la consulta gratis para los 15 minutos y lo haremos por teléfono y contestamos sus preguntas. Si quiere venir, por supuesto, llame por una consulta, pero eso no es gratis. Okay. Lorenzo, I'm a new DV green card holder. Yay, you're welcome, Lorenzo. I will get married next year with an Italian citizen. If I ask her for green card, it take about a year and a half, Lorenzo, more or less. Take about a year and a half. And that's because of just processing times. Just processing times. Not abnormal. All right. Why did the government are convinced there's no harm in DV21 and damage? And what is the damage to your damage? Well, the damage, of course, is the government can't process all the visas in 6 months. We know that. That's the damage. Damages to individual people who aren't going to get visas. So we've got that covered there in our lawsuit. Elena, did you not go up? Take a look. We're suing. We got it. Brazil K1 has like to know why not filed yet. Herrera? I don't know, Christopher. You should ask Greg. My guess is that it will be filed today. But let's go ahead and talk to him. Jenny Zhu, what is the status of the EB5? And just so you know, Chris, this isn't magic. It takes effort to get these things done. It takes time to get these things done. There's a lot of plaintiff stories to tell here, and they are complex. So if it's a day later than we said we'd probably get it in, sorry. That's life. Not everything gets done right in punto. All right? Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but you still get the same result. Jenny Zhu, what's the status of the EB5 lawsuit? Notice as soon as to the case of NBC. Again, Jenny, I'm talking to the government. We've exchanged phone calls twice this week. So hopefully we'll be able to talk today or tomorrow, and I'll be able to get an update out to you by email. Hola, soy cubana, ganador de lotería pendiente. ¿Qué tal es este proceso? Está pendiente, esperando una audiencia con el juez. Thank you, Oscar. We appreciate it. How do they know you're in DV 2021? If you've got a receipt for your payment, you're in DV 2021. If you want to confirm that with Aaron or Greg, just email them. That's all you got to do. Mi visa se encuentra vencida. Hay esperanzas que se vuelvan a emitir. Solo match. ¿Qué visa? ¿Cuál visa está expirado? Necesito saber. ¿Y cuándo se expiró? Andre, good to see you. Should Go's plan is hard to move their interviews to other countries? Yeah, Andre, I'm actually telling people, if you're in Moscow, you should be trying to get to a third country because they may just deny you. Because what you do is you contact the third country. When you get to say, no, we can't take you, you need to send that to us so we can tell the judge, one, the government's lying about changing consulates, and two, they don't have a plan. And that will animate the judge to get them to do this thing and extend it out if necessary to allow visas to be reserved to be issued the following year. Manténeme confirmado por escrito para viajar sin problema. ¡Yahoo! Dylan, felicitaciones. Que tengo un buen viaje. All hello from Honduras. In our case is not processed my document. We'll lost help with this issue. You know, Honduras not allowed to participate. Gorky, if you are in the lawsuit, yes, that's part of this, is getting the KCC to process these cases. Do you know my plaintiff number and name for the Go case? Falsey, I don't have a memorization of that list. Again, email Aaron or Greg, and they can confirm that to you. Oscar, London is not silent. London is interviewing people and setting appointments. They just don't have everybody set yet. As I said earlier, email them. I'm a Milligan plaintiff, or I'm a plaintiff in Kinsley. Why am I not being set? What's going on? Where I am in this process? So here I am always. So by the way, Ramadan Mubarak. I hope you're enjoying. I mean, I don't know where you are, Sahir. If you're in the U.S., you're still fasting. If you're in Europe or Middle East, you should be eating dinner soon. I know how hard Ramadan is in the spring, summer as the days get longer. All right, let's see. Well, you know, I love this guy. No, Sahir is not getting any money from us, by the way. We don't pay anybody for referrals. That's actually illegal in the United States. Father, my name is for my fiance's K1 delay because he's credit form issued soon. Well, if you filed an individual mandamus, generally speaking, those get resolved within 90 days, Mimi. So there you go, an individual one. Andre, I'm asking, a lot of consults are not working. Yes, we know, actually. Cato actually published a report. It said only 24% of consults are working. All right. And again, this goes into the motion for summary judgment, get in front of the judge, and go from there. DACA renewal from January. Actually, D, that's not abnormal. 3 to 5 months is normal. So you've only been pending not even 3. So not abnormal yet. Let's see. Rian, you're welcome. All right. Yo, Jayberg. All right. Joburg, you've got your interview, which is an act of God in St. Peter, in Johannesburg for South Africa. So good luck to you. Get that visa. Come live an awesome life. John Lovell. To clarify, when emailing NBC, Embassy, my London, we mentioned there are kids who played and asked for updated case. Yes, that's what you do. I know, where are we? You know, I'm a plaintiff in the case. You said because of my case that visas don't need an NIE. So where's my appointment? What's going on? See, this is the problem with state, is they don't have a plan. So the litigation is to force them to create a workable plan. They came out yesterday on Twitter, hey, yeah, we're going to prioritize people. All they're doing is rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. They don't have a plan to address the backlog. So constantly bringing this up to them in litigation is how we're going to force them to do the plan. All right. Called the consulate today, and I was told I have to wait. It'll be a long time to document on the phone. Okay, email, document it. Send us the return emails, Charlie, so that we can document it to the court. All right. And by the way, I don't know if you talk to a U.S. consular officer or a local employee, but they have a script. You call the consul, they have a script. That's what they're trained to do. They're not trained to look at your case and tell you how long it's going to take. Where's your place for refugees from Moscow? I don't have a plan for refugees from Moscow. We're not suing for refugees. Helen, keep emailing them, because if you keep track and you send 10 emails and we file our motion with the court, say, Judge, just ignoring it. Just ignore it. They're not ignoring us. They're not ignoring our clients. They're ignoring you, Judge. You. They're ignoring you. What do you think about that, Judge? That's what we're going to do. If your case is at the MVC, please include both on the email so they don't have to cross their fingers. Kinsley is not it's not a class action, but we're asking for a universal injunction. So basically the same thing. That's fine, Maisie. Keep doing it. Make it part of your morning routine, but document. ¿En qué año va el aviso? Probablemente mayo de 2006. A ver lo que dice el gobierno. Y dime, tú sabes que tú puedes verificarlo también, está online. No es un secreto que solamente saben los abogados. Ahorita dice que ellos están tomando casos en mayo 2016. Okay. Kristen, I don't have any magic in getting through the consulate. I don't. There's no, I don't have any magic there. All we can do is keeping the judge notified. And again, we brought it up. And again, they have set lots of interviews. Katerina, I've already talked about it on social media. I will do it again. Warsaw is processing immigrant visas. Well, Russians, can you get to Warsaw? Yeah, Levi, this is, Manila is a black hole. And again, was a focal point of conversation with government counsel yesterday. Well, Charlie's got a secret. There he goes. Charlie's stealing the secret. Press 0. Valeria, congratulations for coming to America. Congratulations for coming to America and to my hometown. I love New York. It's where I'm from. Helen, I was you may remember I was on the call with Jeff about that. It's not that it's moot. What he's talking about in that context is the issue of getting rid of the bar is moot. The lawsuit is not moot because the lawsuit is also a mandamus, which is you're taking too long on the case. So that part is not moot. Hopefully that clarifies it for you. Helen, you made my whole system disappear here. Let's see. There you are. What if the NBC will accept an expedite? No, they don't give refunds, Katerina. They don't give refunds. Schengen, you belong to Kinsley. Again, Liz, I don't have the details of your case at hand by your name. So, Safa, how are you going to protect the plaintiffs from CM become current? Because they're plaintiffs. They're plaintiffs. Again, there's no guarantee on visa issuance and diversity lottery. We're very clear about that. They only have 55,000 to issue, and they notified 130,000 people. But as Greg has regularly pointed out, there's a science for these folks. They've done it for 30 years. They must think there's going to be a big drop-off this year. So keep the faith. If and once I become a healthcare, would I be able to submit an expert review for my husband's I-130 petition? Yeah, Kimberly, I'll be honest with you, they don't care. They don't do expedites for I-130s. They just don't. Okay, they just don't. Milligan round 3. Well, Ari, you may have noticed another round 3 plaintiff got an interview in South Africa. So again, they're doing it. They're just going very slow. My personal opinion on a J1 appointment, well, it's illegal what they're doing, and that's a big part of the remaining case in Kinsley. So my personal opinion is we're going to win, but we need to get it done now to get J1s in here in April and May. 2 cases. Yeah, the problem with Manila is the only one who does immigrant visas. So the only one who does K1. Cebu does not do immigrant visas. That's why. Gorkin already responded to that. Patricia, my husband followed steps to get the payment and received the confirmation. Since then, yes, he got a confirmation of payment. That's the confirmation we sent out. We also sent an email out to plaintiffs. So you might want to check your email because we did send it to everybody. If you didn't get it, then you need to email Aaron, because I know that email went out to all plaintiffs after we filed. Natasha, would it be reasonable for my fiance to quarantine in Mexico and enter U.S. on his tourist visa for a visit? I'm guessing between waiting for just in Rio consul, this was perfectly reasonable to come in as a visitor. Perfectly fine. And summer may be the only beautiful time in Madison, Wisconsin. You cheeseheads, you. Katerina Ponomarenko, Moscow Embassy Transfer. Okay, what's good? Again, according to the Department of State, you can transfer your case anywhere to a consul that will take it. So that consul then is the one in charge of your case. Do I think premium processing will be expanded in the coming months? They should. They need the money. We've been asking them to, so I think they will. Really, once Urge to Do gets in there, I think we're going to see a lot of this stuff take place. Craig, we're ready to fight. If you've been here for any time at all, you know we will continue fighting. Okay. Riemann, you already know that we are already pressuring the judge to do that. I've already talked to 3 different Congress individuals who are interested in sponsoring the legislation, but have not committed to do it yet. So can't force Congress to act. Okay. Do I accept F2B? Of course we accept F2B clients. F2E, you can't reduce waiting times. Waiting times are waiting times. You can't get the cut in front of the line. Let's see. Any word on Juarez appointments? They are interviewing people, but not in any substantial number. Elisita, ¿puedo ir al Perú? Es al, no a Perú, es al Perú. Si software porque es el Perú. Con un parol tengo TP, ya, tú puedes ir al Perú sin problema. Y Perú es excelente con la mejor comida del mundo. Should we apply for a K1 with my fiance or should keep waiting for DV? Well, that's a good question, Theodore. It's one you want to ask in a private appointment, which of course you can make by calling the office for the appointment right there. You can do that. It just depends. We'll know on DV 2021 in a couple months at the most. And K1s, we know they're taking a long time. So I think your better option is the DV at this point. Let's see what else we got here. Hussein, what do you think we're doing? Read the complaint. You'll see everything there. Safety request, Ali, absolutely. Safety request advance parole taking 3 to 4 months to get your advance parole. We've got, where did I jumped ahead here? Nacho, 7 months. Nacho, that's strange, but not out of line. For new cases, they say 5 to 8 months. So what I would do is call your lawyer and have him do an inquiry with immigration. Samantha Black, hi, tengo una pregunta por alguien que tiene 3 detenciones pero no licencia, pero no ha ido por el cárcel. ¿Puede aplicar por DACA? Sí. Si es elegible, sí puede aplicar. Buenas tardes, doctor. Mi pregunta es si alguien con visa de estudiante puede cambiar su TPS para verlos y así tener su permiso para trabajar y así seguir pagando sus estudios. Sí, lo puede hacer, Lourdes. Recomiendo que tome una consulta para aprender cómo hacerlo, ¿okay? Y las consecuencias de hacerlo. What about Yemen and TPS? What about Yemen and TPS? I don't know. Don't know what the question is. Let's see. Aaron, with UK travel, have travel bans or feasible alternative move to come to see, do I have a visa review? I don't, the thing is you have to deal with both leaving the UK, which apparently has some restrictions on leaving, I understand, and other countries that, Europe's not happy with you in case you're curious, and I think they've made it hard to travel. But you're welcome to move your case to a consulate that will accept you and do the case. We are not planning another DV 2021 lawsuit, although we do have a waiting list. Go up and you'll see the waiting list to get on because we may, in fact, add plaintiffs. Yassine, we have 3 people left, I think, in Annunciado round 1, and 2 of them are in Montreal. So that's Annunciado. I'm thinking about Montreal. Annunciado. No, we don't have any update right now. we'll be talking to the government, I think, next week about what's going to go on. Moscow consulate determines when they would transfer cases. No. The other consulate that will take your case, they take care of that for you. So once the other consulate says yes, then they'll let Moscow know, and the case will be transferred internally. Let's see. Successful if you're trying to change embassy, Peru to somewhere else. Well, Peru's opening back up for appointments. Problem is Latin America's a nightmare. So Chile has even got problems, and they're vaccinated a lot of people. So no, I don't have any successful opportunity for that. Oscar, las demandas del aviso, esta es mi socia Danielle, y tendrás que hablar con ella cuando tiene su Facebook Live. Can I share Aaron's email? All right, Aaron, here is Aaron's email. I just put Aaron's email in the comments below. So go to the comments below, and you'll see a post by Cook Baxter, and there will be Aaron's email. Were there people before who got stuck in enterprise journalism and helped them change their status? Yes. I think a couple people did. But that's not the purpose of the lawsuit. The purpose of the lawsuit is not to unstick administrative processing. That's a different lawsuit. That's an individual lawsuit. George, how are you? Case to the Emirates. I said I'm a plaintiff in the mandamus cases. No, you're still a plaintiff, George. Wherever you are in the world, you're a plaintiff. If you can transfer your case to the Emirates, do it and get your visa, okay? And let them know you're a plaintiff. Petronila. Okay, what is considered that would cause undue hardship, unable to meet their fiance in person? That's Petronila. That is the question that you should ask in a consult. It's really complicated, and I frankly don't have time to get into it here. So call for a consult, and we can address that question for you. Gorkum. I don't know if the same Gorkum that I see every week. Consulate is open to give part of family-based visas. Can the court force? Yes, they actually can, because the Department of State's going to have to explain why, on the only visa category that expires, they are not prioritized. So yes, that's a problem for them. Thank you, Samantha. Yeah, you have to contact a third country consulate. They have to accept taking your case, and then they will reach out to Moscow. Okay. Oh no, Michael. Yeah, Manila, and I think I've said this many times before. I've been doing it 32 years. Manila's been a problem for 32 years. It's an out of control consulate because of how they run it, and it's run by different people every 3 years. But the culture that they run there remains, and that's Manila is absolutely out of control. As far as I know, we don't have any. I think the Kinsley case resolves all these issues. And when will all 2020 winners be current? I don't know. Again, June is what the government said. Wow, great Facebook Live today, everybody. Thank you for coming. Again, all you got to do to free consult, you just call. ¿Quiere una consulta gratuita? Just call. It's here. Or a regular consult, you just call. We're here. We do every type of immigration here at Cook Baxter Immigration. Tomorrow, we've got Elizabeth Mathern doing a Facebook Live. Friday, my partner, Dustin, who's a very funny guy and does a great job on these. And, of course, if there's any breaking news that we have to let our clients know about and our friends, we'll do that here as well. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.